Hi guys, this is the journey that I've done. So for those that were interested and wanted to know, I started off at Belstone. So there's a car park here, there's Belstone itself. I actually veered off for Belstone and done this. There's a little valley that drops into a river. Highly recommend, it's a beautiful little spot. It does drop down, proper decline, and it shoots up big time. There's a bridge that you can cross, and it slowly builds up, and you come out here. Ended up walking, come up through this way. This is where I had my heel rub. I had to change roughly around this track area is where I tightened up my boot, but the damage was done unfortunately. I made my way up to Coast Tour. Spectacular views from up there, all around Devon and Cornwall. Hell of a steep ground, and then dropped down into Little Hound Tour. Got an ancient stone circle. Highly recommend seeing that. I want to take photos on the way back. Camera said no because of the code. And then headed to Hound Tour. I'm looking at things like Steepleton Tour, Oak Tour. I'm looking at little reference points that I can see, little re-entrants like along here and stuff like that. Doing my map to ground, just looking across, see what else I can see, and doing map to ground, just constantly checking. Wild Tour, then Hanging Stone Hill. So around Hanging Stone Hill, White Horse Hill, obviously got Peat Pass there, there's a hint in that. It was quite hard going actually. The peat's quite soft, it was quite gloopy, and obviously having the heel rub, it was the suction on the boot was a bit of a pain in the backside. And then dropped down into Quinton Man's Cairn across there. Drop down again, river crossing here to Sitterford Tour. What doesn't show on the map is the brick walls. Some that you see in the photographs, you can see the brick walls, the natural stone walling that they've done. It's vast, but it's not on the map, so bear that in mind. It actually splits up Sitterford Tour, and it was roughly down here that I managed to pitch tent for the first night. That was a pretty hard slog, and nursed my feet. The following morning was a glorious day. T-shirt weather up to 7 o'clock at night. Got scrambled up, everything else. And then headed off to Stratshoe Ruin. These sort of distances, some of them where I cut across, you know, try and stick to the tracks if you can, because if you don't, it's quite hard going. It's still quite boggy in places. Yomped down to Sandy Hole Pass. I dropped down to the beautiful waterfall down here. Again, went a bit off. Still a track, but I followed not a well-used route of going around this way. So this whole bit here is quite hard going on my feet. Again, I'm still looking at things like Rough Tour, Crow Tour, little indicators. I'm always looking at things like settlements, you know, the main road. You can't really see that, but you can see the forest. Headed down to High White Tour, really impressive. And dropped down all the way to Littleford Tours. From there, obviously Wistman's Wood. That was incredible, I've got to say. Absolutely stunning. Well worth going in any type of season, any type of weather. I can imagine at night time or in the first thing in the morning, really dramatic with the mist and stuff. But really close to Princetown. So Princetown's got another waypoint, which is North Hessery Tor, if I said that right, which has the mast. And that mast is absolutely huge. So you can see it from all this sort of area in the night time. But anyway, so obviously I then come back the route like a back bearing all the way back to Camp 1. I got there at 7 o'clock ish. I wanted to get up here for Camp 2, but I didn't. I got to here. I knew it was going to get dark within the hour. My feet were spent, and to be honest, there's no way I would have made that. That would have been a night march all the way through there, and my feet just need to rest up. So within sort of 15-20 minutes of me being there, the weather changed dramatically. It got really cold. Obviously the lights going, everything else. By 8 o'clock it was pitch black, but you were getting wind chill. And through the night we had rain, drizzle and snow come in, so the tent was frosted the next morning. From there, sorted myself out, done my admin, wrapped on coming into Fenworthy Forest. That was only if I felt like doing it. So it was an option. I didn't bother. My feet were killing me, so ended up following the route. I went back, obviously checking waypoints and stuff as I went along, all the way up through. When I got here, I ended up, there's a nice clear pathway, but it takes you, it's not marked on the map. I thought I was going to be over here, you see, but it takes you right by all these rocks here, and I ended up down this way, and that was so hard going on my feet and getting across, but I'd done a lovely walk all the way through this area again. It was very undulating, and come out at Bellstone, back to the car. What I would say is always go on to Dartmoor National Park's website, check for live firing, and see which private areas there are of landowners that don't want you pitching the tent anywhere near their property. To give you an idea, Sitterford Tor is split up because the landowner clearly doesn't want you on that side anyway. So, you know, whether it's to do with grazing or whatever, he'll let you walk through, but he doesn't want you pitching your tents up. But with the ranges, it threw me. So I planned on doing a big 4-dayer to put in my log that I'm doing. And unfortunately, I couldn't do it because the ranges were busy. So Oakhampton Range is this area here. Then it goes to Willsworthy, over this way, and to the Merivale Range, which is down here. So these were busy, red flags everywhere, red lights at night, a lot of beams going off, helicopters. It's very proactive. And I know a friend of mine's doing a charity gig and he had to cancel. He's just gone out today now to do it. He's doing 100 miles to Dartmoor. Good luck on that one. Fair play to him. But he would have done this sort of planning, exactly this, more or less the same. He would have marked out his route, everything else. He would have route cards. Route cards are absolutely incredible things to do. These are the ones I threw up really quickly. As you can see, I haven't filled all this bit in because it was done at night time. But it gives me an idea of my grid reference, a rough grid bearing of A to B, and just to indicate distance and stuff. You can work out the time and height and everything else that you're going to be doing. And to give you an idea for my big one, which is all planned, it's all this one. I mean, this has got everything worked out on it. The only thing is, what I would say is, I worked out on a walking speed of 4 kilometers per hour. I would say it'd be a lot slower because of the ground and because of the weight on my back. Yeah, the main thing is go out there and enjoy it. You know, the weather can change. What I will say is that wind chill coming up through here on returning back, especially between White Horse Hill and Hangingstone Hill. Around there, I think it was Hangingstone Hill, possibly, that I got my little device out to check wind speed. It was over 20 miles an hour, but the wind chill was far worse. I did experience snow on the way back, so it just shows you from a day of being absolutely stunning, where you're in a t-shirt all day till 7 o'clock, to suddenly you're wrapped up in all your layers, try to keep warm and dry. So always bear that in mind with the moors. It can change rapidly, the weather, so be prepared. Learn how to use a map, learn about grid references, how to take a grid bearing, use your compass, learn how to use one of them. It's all on YouTube, to be honest with you. And you know, and learn about map to ground. Very important that you do that. It's very easy to get distracted when you're yomping, when you're walking along or hiking or whatever you want to call it, because you start looking at things and you sort of see a track and you start following it, and a lot of the time it's animal tracks, and it's their main sort of footfall area that they tend to use. So be careful where you're walking, try and stay on the right tracks. Going off the beaten track is a nightmare on Dartmoor. Something we'd done many years ago in the Marines, obviously all around these ranges and stuff. How the hell we done it, I don't know, but there you go, it's a young man's game. But most of all, get out there, enjoy it, make sure you plan ahead, do your route card, form family and stuff. Keep in touch with them. If you're out for a few days, take a power pack with you. Bear in mind your phone, don't rely on it. Like I said, the wind chill, cold. My phone ended up just switching off. The battery hadn't depleted, which is sometimes the case with the cold. It just wasn't going to play in the cold. So hence why I couldn't do the pictures on the way back. So that's why it's always good to have a compass and map and stuff. But yeah, be safe. One end of Dartmoor to the other and back.